This is going to be kind of weird. I don't know. It's just something I feel like I need to talk about or something. So, um, it is about skin and what makes us different. And so when I was younger, I grew up in the South, and I have always loved the sun. I like the warmth. I never thought I'd be up here living somewhere where it's cold. But now it's so bad down there. It's like, um, there is more seasons over here where I'm at. I mean, down south, it's just become one, long summer. And there's parts up here that have, like, most of it is winter. So, changes are happening, but they're not talking about what the truth is because, they need to make money off of us. They can't control what's going on, but they want to, market it to us. Oh, they've got solutions. All we got to do is pay, and they've got all the solutions in the world. So, I don't know how people believe that, but to each his own. But their climate with all the stuff and how they make money, and I mean, it's off of so many things like, oh, we have to have electric cars. We have to have these new appliances. They're super expensive, but they really don't work any better than the old appliances. And, it's just this stuff that they're constantly marketing to us. And I just think it's such bullshit. And I always was out in the sun. I had, my dad was super, super white, like light skinned. If he went outside, he would always turn really red. But we were out at the lake all the time. I'm sure I could find pictures where he's got suntan. I just remember his skin being super white and super blue eyes, like white hair, and he would get burned. And all of us kids were the same way. We all had really white hair, blue eyes, and really white skin. And my mom was super dark skinned and dark, thick, wavy hair. Much different than how we all look. So she was always out in the sun, but I went out in the sun all the time. And I mean, back then, kids grew up out in the sun, it was a part of our existence. And I think that they started marketing this skin cancer thing to make us manifest it, so we created what we feared, because there's just so much of this stuff it's ridiculous. So then they've spent so much time and money now to get people to fear the sun, coat their skin and stuff like that. And when I swear I must have been in high school or maybe junior high. It could have been in college, but I remember at some point when I was very young learning about why people were different colors. And it all had to do with how close you were to the equator, and like where you live is going to be your skin. You would adapt to your environment. And that is why people who were in really hot sun, they got darker skin, and they would have more oily skin. Like black people, like their skin hardly ever ages. I mean, you can see one that's 100 and it'll look like a white person who's 40. I mean, they've got beautiful skin, but they have a lot of oils inside their skin to protect their skin because it's very dark. And so they have like a natural way of doing this. And what made me start thinking about it is that I was watching his education, and there was a TikTok. He always has TikToks, man. There's a lot of people who just do practical jokes on each other on TikTok, I guess, to get laughs. I don't know. Seems kind of like a hostile environment, but whatever. But anyways, these two guys, one of them is black and one of them is white, and they're obviously friends. And the white guy, I think knows more. It's just, so kind of educate other people. But so he's talking to his friend because how unfair it is that he doesn't need sunblock and the white guy needs sunblock. And you know, you got to pay more and stuff like that. But the whole thing is like if we weren't in fear of the sun, if we went out all the time, we would be much more darker complected. We would have, I mean, there's some places that they would, you know, could go out in the sun and the sun's too far and they don't have the same kind of heat. But it's definitely, you know, it's changing. We can see the changes that are occurring, you know, that they are trying to tell us that it was from cow farts and hairspray. But I mean, that's, you know, if science your God, you might believe that bullshit. So anyways, if white people weren't in fear of the sun and were out all the time, and their skin starts to get really dark and leathery to protect it from the sun. But that is like a natural way that it does it. If it were, you know, so say the equator, you know, that the earth flips its axis and everything goes to the different season, like wherever it's cold all the time suddenly becomes hot all the time, and wherever it's hot all the time suddenly becomes cold all the time, because that's what it determines our weather patterns depending on how far you are from the equator. And I just think it's weird because, like, is there some people that think there's like differences in all of us that goes beyond our skin color? Like, do they think like really these people are different? Like, we're all human. It's all just our skin color. And it all just has to do with the equator and, you know, for generations and generations where you're from. And that's why so many of us white people are just a bunch of mutts, you know? We've just, you know, it's like they're dividing up the tribes and they're I don't know. They probably are trying to, because of the, you know, the biracial push and stuff. They're trying to, it's kind of like remove the black out of them, not put more in to our world. If you get what I mean? Because like we, if you're real white, then, you know, you've been further away, like you're so much more watered down, because originally everybody, you know, everybody looks like people from Egypt. You know, we were all darker and dark skin, but then people moved away from the equator. They and the shape of the earth was different. My daughter, who's the one who has the degree in archaeology, she was telling me about before the planet, there was connections where now we have water. So that is how that they could migrate and move around all over on the planet and spread out. And that's why at different times they've spread out at different places, because our map changes all the time. Like the earth is changing all the time. You know, this nonsense that they're trying to tell you, like this is something new and that we caused it, is just, you know, it's outrageous, ridiculous. So the people who have been away from, you know, have moved out for these generations and been generation after generation in this climate, in this place. Yeah, your skin changes, it adapts, your eyes change, all the stuff. But we are very, now we're very, I have so many words coming to my head, but, you know, we all are able to be in motion easily. We're able to travel and go all over the place and mix in all different ways. We're able to talk to people across the, on the other side of the planet and, you know, set up meetings and stuff. I mean, we're so much more able to get around than a long time ago for human beings. But it doesn't make any difference over, you know, a skin color making somebody better or worse. You know, to me, I think that the people who have the most melanin in their skin, that they have that deeper kind of spiritual calling. And, and when we have all of this inner city crime, people against their own people and stuff, people against any other people, just people against other people. I mean, if you watched an ant farm or something, would all of a sudden the ants suddenly start killing all the other ants in it? And what would happen if they did? I mean, it just isn't logical, some of this stuff. It is very, it's very impulsive. It's very needy. Like, these people have got a lot of needs that haven't been met in a really long time. And they're very hopeless, very helpless. If you have no connection, then nothing you do matters. So it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you kill people. It doesn't matter if you take someone's stuff. There's no, there's nothing that happened. Your biggest fear is going to jail. That is what we have going. And that's when, they started the depravity. They started breaking down the family units. They started tearing apart communities. They tore apart tribes before. And then they didn't even humans will still find a way to get together and go sing in a building and worship and be excited and stuff. They didn't want any of that, They needed to pull us away because their whole agenda is to get a complete 100% control of us. And, all of this stuff that they've done to reach their goals has been causing problems that weren't there for us. They created problems. And then they kept people uneducated so that they could promote these ridiculous things. Their education system wasn't really to make you smarter. It wasn't really to make you know anything. It was just to fill your head with their bullshit. And, and it's just, there must be people who are out there who really think like there's something different more than just our skin color, I don't know. That doesn't mean I think like there's tons of racists out there. I still don't see that. I don't care how much they tell me it exists. I don't see it. I don't see it around me. I don't see it around, when I go out in public. I don't see it happening in places I'm at, so I'm sure it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just don't think it's to the degree that they try and market it as. I deeply believe that any minority struggles with, having to deal with being the minority in any group. It makes you feel, especially if you have no self-identity or you've been beat down somehow in how you self-identify. If that has been torn apart, then you're going to go out there and you're going to feel very alone, very left out, not a part of the story. And we've got a lot of people in a lot of pain that are very reactive to what's happening to them. And, the more that we can just kind of have like empathy for these people, because, this is a transition and we are changing and they are going to have to face themselves and they're going to have to face some dark stuff about themselves. Any of the people who are doing these hate crimes and stuff like that, and all these people being killed every weekend by just, angry, troubled people. It's just, that stuff isn't going to go away. That stuff isn't going to be like, oh, well, once this life ends, it's all gone. No, that's not how it goes. So your biggest fear is not, if the cops are going to catch you. You're already caught. If you're doing bad stuff, you're already caught. There's no getting out of it. So that's why I talk about redemption, The best thing you can do is start really getting it in your head. Like, this is the stuff that's going on here is more than what I've been told. And everything I do here really does matter. And I'm going to carry it from, it's not going to go away just because this life ends. So, I say that all the time, but it's very, very, it's like something that they're constantly really, I feel like it has to be pushed, like there's reason. People really need to start wrapping their heads around that perception that just because your life ends here, so everything you do has repercussions that will go beyond what your experience is right here. And that's super important. And it's super important to understand about, you know, evolution and how it works, and the migration of human beings, and, you know, why we're different colors, and, you know, why our bodies can adapt to different things, like, and why if we go to certain environments that we can get sick and die, but they go and live their lives perfectly fine there, you know. And it's been shown so many times to us with different animals or whatever, that they say will adapt to a change in their environment. And so, you know, maybe they'll grow another extra eye. Maybe they'll start breathing water and air. That is how evolution works. You know, you adapt to your environment. It takes several generations to get to the whole thing. And that's why, you know, we can be white, and then they can call us like pure. Well, we're not pure, we're watered down. We're just watered down. And they've watered us, not just our skin tones down, but they've also, not them, I mean, migration, just, you know, evolution, just how it works. That has watered us down, but they appreciate that, because that's part of what they push, is this, you know, division in skin color. And it is just, it's just ridiculous. And there's got to be a lot more people, you know, that understand that, and this ridiculous thing that a lot of people can see through, like how ridiculous it is. But yeah, I mean, I think that if they quit getting us to be so scared of the sun, our skin will get darker too. I think there's so many people that are just so scared of skin cancer. They slather themselves with a cream that's giving them cancer, and go out in the sun, cook that cream in them, and it's blocking the sun, because it's got to block vitamin D, because they got to keep you unhealthy. They're selling you, don't forget, they're always the ones that are selling you what's going to save you, because it's not going to save you at all. They figure out the problem, and then they send the solution, but the solution's just to take you down another couple notches, to, you know, drive a stake in your heart. So it's so much manipulation, and it's, Stella's back. So anyways, I've been rambling about this for 17.5 minutes. So I think I've made my point. Okay. Have a great day. Bye.